Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aqil Aiman bin Nasrudinasri 1172540. My title is the title is relationship between sport and emotional intelligence among students in USIM. Research background. Today, sport is one of the branches of the country's economy to grow globally. In this regard, athletes are the main mover in achieving success and making the country famous. The performance and quality of athletes to achieve success in this arena is declining due to the factor of emotional intelligence of athletes. The approach of sport psychologists in maintaining emotional intelligence of athletes should be emphasized by having spiritual and physically healthy athletes. Mental endurance and emotional intelligence can improve the concentration and performance of a person. Problem statement. This research focus on student first year and second year at Faculty of Leadership and Management. It will take 150 respondents to answer the questionnaire method where each study sample will receive and complete USM emotional question inventory. Was instrument to measure EQ of student in University Science Islam Malaysia, and after collecting the data will be processed using Pearson correlation analysis. Next, this study was conducted to find out the relationship between the sport and emotional intelligence. Every human needs emotional intelligence to overcome a tense situation in a calm and positive state. Overall, it is hoped that this study can achieve the objective of the study and be able to present a decision that can help many parties in dealing with the problem emotional intelligence, as well as psychological development among person is necessary for the construction of positive behavior. Research question. First, what is the relationship between sport and emotional intelligence? What is the effect of sport in emotional intelligence? Research objective to identify the relationship between sport and emotional intelligence, and to identify the effect of sport emotional intelligence. Literature review. First, the effect on emotional intelligence on age, academic, gender, and sport performance in college athletes by Julie and Dimick. This study investigates the association between athlete, emotional intelligence, and age, gender, academics, and sport performance. Participants in this study consisted of 181 NCCA Division II athletes from one faith-based university. Results indicate that no relationship between emotional intelligence and age, academics, and sport performance exists. A significant relationship was found when comparing gender to emotional intelligence. Male athletes score higher than female in overall emotional intelligence, self-management, and self-awareness. Furthermore, the study found gender was a predictor of GPA. Female has had a slightly higher GPA than males. Descriptive statistics include to show several trends depicted in table and bar graph that are identified by viewing the tender size of the means. Second, the academic and behavioral impact of multiple sport participants on high school athlete by Christopher James Cole. For many high school student athletes, There is increased pressure to specialize in one sport, to participate at a high level, and to play year round. Brenner 2016. This increased emphasis on sport specialization has led to a proliferation of overuse injured overtraining and burnout. Sport specialization significantly contribute to overuse injuries, which account for almost half of all sport injured. Andrew and Yeager's 2013. This research was designed to clarify if there are significant differences in the behavioral and academic performance of student athletes who compete in one sport and student athletes who compete in multiple sports. Side High School in Southwest Missouri provided GPAs hour absent and days suspended for approximately 1,500 student athletes for the 2015 to 2016 school years. An ANOVA test was conducted to determine if significant difference existed among 1, 2, and 3 one or more sport athletes for each individual area of study. When single sport athletes were compared to multiple sport athletes, significant differences were discovered in each area of study including GPAs, hour absent, and days suspended. In all instances of significant difference, multiple sport athletes demonstrate improved academic and behavioral performance over single sport athlete. These findings should assist students, coach, parents, teachers, and administrators in decision making about student athlete participation. Next, Islamic perspective. Islam has a mission to change the mind and behaviors of its people into emotional intelligent individuals. Thus, in the context of emotional intelligence, Islam wants its people to be emotional intelligent individuals based on Al-Quran and As-Sunnah by laying the foundation for monotheism and emphasizing Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Failure to place the Al-Quran and the Sunnah in any matter which will result in failure to establish a Muslim morality committed to religious claims. Whether we realize it or not, Islam has in fact long introduced the concept of an integrated approach between the intellect and emotional in human life. Even coupled with another approach that is rarely given attention, namely the spiritual aspect. There are verses in the Quran that touch on or directly relate to emotional intelligence. Surah Al-Mujadalah ayat ayah 11. In that verse, the Quran teach us some basic things in EQ, respecting the right and need of others, the right of others to participate in the study of knowledge. Second, tolerance and not selfish. The latter in cooperation with each other, take joint action to facilitate the study of knowledge. The interesting is the EQ skill applied in this verse are also associated with the grace of Allah to the students of knowledge by raising their rank in the sight of Allah with the believers. The meaning here is that students who only have high IQ values but do not have price-worthy IQ and spiritual values will not get a place in the sight of Allah. Theoretical Goldman theory. An aspect of Goldman theory is that emotional 21 intelligence has five key parts. First, knowing emotions. Second, managing emotion. Third, motivating oneself. Fourth, recognizing emotion in others. And lastly, handling relationship. In addition, these five parts, along with many other mentioned through his book, complete his belief that emotional intelligence is a part of one personality. Goldman 1995 states that knowing one emotion or self-awareness is the keystone of emotional intelligence. Much of his work apply emotional intelligence to relationship, academic, and managing others in business. And while his book presented a journalistic account of the concept, many scientists have treated his work seriously. The study of emotional intelligence owes much of its success to the work of Daniel Goleman. Research Design, Chapter 3. In this study, the researcher employed the quantitative method. This research approach used statistical data as a tool for saving time and resource. Daniel 2016. A, dis- a, discrete, a descriptive survey was used to investigate social media addiction among the students by utilizing questionnaire to collect data from the respondent, according to Orodo 2003, a study that seeks to acquire information by interviewing or administering a questionnaire to respondents is a descriptive survey. The purpose of this study is to measure the relationship between uh, between the sport and emotional intelligence among faculty management and leadership student. Faculty leaders. A correlational design study was employed to find the correlation between the two variables. Correlation research is concerned with establishing relationship between two or more variables in the same population or between the same variable in two populations. Lead and Omrod 2010. Data collection. Population of study. The population of this study is the first and second year student of faculty leadership and management in universities in Islam Malaysia. Sample of study. According to Salaria 2012, a sample is a group chosen from a large population with the aim of yielding information about the population as a whole. The researcher can enable in gaining information about some population. 150 respondents were selected from the first and second year student in faculty leadership and management at universities in Islam Malaysia. Sampling strategy. Sampling is the process by which a relatively small number of individuals or measure of individuals, object or event is chosen and analyzed in order to find out something about the entire population from which it was chosen. For this research, the convenient sampling method had used has been used. According to Atikan Sulaiman and Rukaya 2016, convenient sampling, also known as Harvard sampling or accidental sampling is a type of non-probability or non-random sampling where members of the target population that meet certain practical criteria such as easy accessibility, geographical proximity, availability at a given time, or the willingness to participate are included for the purpose of the study. Don Ye 2007. The convenience sampling method is used because it is affordable, easy, and the subject are readily available. It allows the researcher to approach respondents easily and quickly as it can be carried out with little rules restricting the sample collecting. Research instrument. Demographic data. Section 8 of the questionnaire convert some demographic question which complete by all the participants. This section consider of the item which gather respondents' profile. For example, of the question is sex, age, course, pointer, and etc. The objective of this section was gaining the personal information to facilitate the classification and identification of subject during the analysis. Emotional intelligence. USM emotional quotient inventory was instrument to measure EQ of medical student in Malaysian university. The mixed theory approach of the EQ model serves as source of reference for development in 7 dimensions of USMAC-I. The literature related to EQ research became a review for the item of the inventory. All the items were designed based on its suitability and compatibility with values and the local culture. After that, the item of USMAC-I was created and written primarily in Malay language, making it a more reliable and valid instrument to measure EQ of Malaysian students. Apart from that, the inventory is also suitable to measure EQ of other groups such as adult, teacher, and worker. Data collection procedure. Participants will be told that they will participate in a policy research report. The study is going to be available with survey and available online. This study of data collection was survey method. It used questionnaire which were specifically developed and standard for all respondents. Method of the data collection were based on random sampling and structured data collection instrument. Finding of quantitative study were typically easy to represent, summarize, compare, and generalize. Quantitative paper survey employed with closed question with the answer option provided. The respondent can solely have to compare for their answer among the alternative provided of the form. The participant did not place their name on the measure and were assured of the confidentiality of the response. The instrument took approximately 10 minutes to complete. Data analysis. Descriptive statistics that are standard deviation and mean were used to determine the level of emotional intelligence among first year and second year USIM students, while the Pearson correlation test was used to determine the relationship between sport and emotional intelligence among the first and second year USIM students. Data were analyzed by purposing statistical package for social science (SPSS) for Windows. SPSS program was used to ease in analyzing data, can manipulate data for a large number of samples and get accurate result and precise analysis of the result. Thanks for watching. Thank you.